everyone. Welcome to GK Pro's production of the 2024 Paradise Plates down here in Paradise, New Zealand. It's Nate Perkins here with Paul Oman. We are legitimately in paradise, Paul.
Absolutely. Grinning ear to ear over here. Views for days.
We are 44 degrees south down here at the tip of the world. This is probably one of the most beautiful disc golf courses I've ever seen. We have 4 solid players today. Paul, talk about this card.
Well, I've got myself here. Purchased a new hat. Jacko Sullivan, a local favorite in the New Zealand area. Sullivan Tipton getting his first look at some disc golf here as a DGA sponsored player and his first little taste of disc golf in New Zealand. And then we've got Ryan Cambridge out of Wanaka, New Zealand. Another local.
Welcome to the 2024 Paradise Plates Tournament. We are so excited to be in heaven. Teeing off first, all the way from Birmingham, Alabama, Sullivan Tipton! Woo!
Familiar face, Zoe Andike sending us off here.
Tight little hyzer line here on one. You really want to skip this one off the road. And this tree just recently fell down,
on our card,
sadly.
Coming the long route from Wanaka, New Zealand, Ryan Cambridge!
Ryan has given a look at the second way to play this hole, right up the gut, not relying on that skip.
And third on the card, all the way from Evansville, Indiana, we've got Mr. Tall Paul Oman!
Yeah, a long way from Indiana, Paul.
Man, the mountains here are a bit different than our mountains in Indiana.
Is that putter?
Actually threw a rock, just looking to get under that ceiling.
And rounding out this all-star feature card, coming out of Leven, New Zealand, Jacko Sully. 2 nicknames.
And Jacko's actually going full RPM bag here. He's kind of the heart and soul, the RPM.
Have a wonderful round, gentlemen. We are in
production
paradise.
back in Auckland. And Simon Feasy, the founder of RPM, is actually the designer of this pop-up course here in Paradise.
Yeah, Sully looking to get things started off hot. Nice little jumper just outside the circle.
That's the exact little jump putt that took him to the lead card of USDGC last season. Jacko with a near unmakeable look right there over the tree.
Tough look at it. Trying to give it something. Ryan. I loved his putt all day. I got to see it all day, and you're going to see a lot more of that from him.
All right, 3 for 4.
Yep. Happy to get started.
So the first 10 holes here at Paradise are going to start out here in this beach forest. And for all the Lord of the Rings fans out there, this is the forest where Boromir was killed in the Fellowship. And then that back 8 holes, we get back out to the open with those expansive views. Here we are, hole 2. It's par 3, just 109 meters. It's a tricky one. We've got that branch kind of hanging down in the middle of the fairway here. The line I really see a lot of people try is that flex forehand line. And you want to try and get a lucky skip off the road or just kind of crash into the green right here. This would be the man to show us the line.
Absolutely. Get a little taste of the forehand here from Sullivan.
Tugged on that one a little bit.
Right. That one branch really defines the ceiling. It's tough to stay up high to get to that green because the green is just a little bit elevated.
He's going to try and throw something flippy here. He's hitting a backdoor lane.
Got most of the way there, but it does get a little cloudy there where his disc was heading towards the end of the flight.
Now, is this T-bird or leopard?
I was kind of looking at Ryan's line, thinking I didn't want to throw a forehand.
Oh,
Yeah, started off a
that
little left.
branch, man.
Yeah.
So flippy fairway there?
Pretty neutral.
Okay.
Just trying to get it to work back to the left.
And this is Pekka from Jacko. Kind of the leopard type disc from RPM. That's a fine line for the backhand, Paul.
It is. It's definitely calling for the forehand shape of the shot, the righties, and kind of got to get sneaky with the backhand, I think. Sullivan hitting a little earlier than he would have liked. That right side is really guarded.
Looks like you're going to try and punch this AVR through that right side.
You know, I was happy with where I was located. I had a look at the basket and just tugged my AVR a little bit to the right and found the cabbage I was trying to get around.
So one of the co-designers of this course, Martin Getty, he's actually the tournament director and one of the course designers down here in New Zealand. He's responsible for getting this course here in Paradise, and one of the ways that we're able to play here is that we're not able to actually cut any trees down. We're not able to trim any branches or move any logs or anything. The Paradise Trust wants this course unadulterated.
Wow.
So that's why a lot of these fairways have these branches kind of hanging down in them.
Done a great job shaping the fairways. Sullivan with a great bid over the hill. Look like you could just see the flag there. Ryan grabs a little cage as well. Great up and down from Jacko to start. Second hole here. Don't want to get in any trouble early. On to hole 3. Nice little uphill walk. Got some beautiful big redwoods on here and kind of a bit of an ace run with this hill. You can really fire something at this. I like it. 283.
Yeah, there's these branches that kind of force you to get the disc up pretty early.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's pretty low from Ryan.
Yeah.
Jacko going flippy kotaku here. It's on a rope.
Yeah. Really good shot from Jacko. Not getting too high over the basket. Just put it into the hill.
Yeah, that's just too easy for Sully. Love watching that guy throw forehands.
Yeah, he said it's starting to feel a lot more comfortable.
He injured his wrist, right?
He broke his hand
Broke his hand.
playing flag football.
And so he nearly had to have surgery is what he was telling me. And I think he narrowly avoided that, thankfully. Beautiful shape right there. Was that putter?
That was actually a rock.
A rock again.
Yeah. I'm trying to dial this one in. Maybe get an ace on the weekend. It's calling for it.
That's mean.
Yeah. Some great basket placements out here, though.
Yeah, tough bogey for Cambridge.
No trouble for Jacko. Pretty straightforward par 3.
All right, short walk up to the tee pad of hole 4, and this is a tricky hole. It takes you a while to find the pin the first time you step up on this tee. We really are just going right over the branch underneath these, and you want to control the speed. It's easy to go long on this one, and you need a little luck late in the flight to park it.
Yeah, you definitely want to leave this one a little bit higher, I think, to punch through. That low gap definitely muddies up.
Jacko's going Takapoo here. It's kind of like the P2 for RPM.
Yep. We've seen that disc before. Levi Stout throwing it all over the place down here.
Looks like a zone there from Sully.
Absolutely a zone. Just punching through a little better than Jacko. Just catching that tree that you need to punch through. That's how you do it.
Yeah, that's it. It just catches that last bit right there. He's got a 30-footer.
You got to give it a little more than you're comfortable with, I think, just to make sure you get through that. Because here I'm just left with nothing.
This is jail.
Hit short, and yeah, I'm even worried about bogey here at one point, but
good thing you got that hat on, man.
yeah. Hey, the thing's
love that hat too, man. You got it at the Glenorchy store, right?
Glenorchy store, right
down
up
the
road.
street.
Stop.
Legendary store, guys. If you happen to find yourself here,
Stopped for a meat pie and ended up with a new hat.
oh, that's cashed.
Ryan's putt was butter all day. Jacko was he was messing with the same thing I was, but Ryan punched through a little bit more, got himself a look, and he takes advantage of it.
He's pretty new to the game too, I believe. Just 2 or 3 years playing.
You had mentioned that you had met him last year and got to do a little bit of a hike excursion with him.
Yeah, Ryan's a bit of an alpinist. We'll touch on that in just a bit.
Sully punching all the way through and getting himself a clean look for bird. All smiles here in paradise.
An important part of getting a PDJ membership is helping grow the game. Membership dollars are used to bolster competition of all levels, from local C-tiers to majors. Tools like Digital Scorecard and Tournament Manager help events run seamlessly. Your PDJ membership also gives you access to Disc Golf Network coverage for select events and a 50% discount to their full coverage package. Help grow the sport and get started today. Visit pdj.com/join.
1, 2,
Right. Big shout out to the PDGA for helping get GK Pro out here to New Zealand to film this tour down under. Here we are, hole 5, 305 feet. This one's nasty, Paul.
Tight.
There's a couple lines, but honestly, the right little baby Anheuser, you have to get lucky late. There is a straight gap. There's something off to the left. Sully going with a squall way out right.
He said he's loving this squall. The shot was great. He just needed a little more push, but I think he would have ran into some trees if he did, so he gave himself a putt.
Ryan going with that same route right there.
I think that's the preferred route for the backhand. That center gap is kind of a sucker gap for the backhand, I think.
It's that line of trees right there that you
Absolutely.
have to kind of punch through.
Those are the ones at the end that you kind of just crossing your fingers, hoping you get through.
What are you throwing there, Paul?
That's a little DX AVR X3. Wow, just sneaking through.
On a dime.
Yeah.
Paul, how long you been at this now?
Honestly, I think I joined the PDGA in 08, the beginning of 08, but
Right.
played a couple years before that. Almost 20 years.
That's like over half your life.
Yeah. That's how you enjoy this gig here. Jacko's still getting a look there from the trees, but longer than he would have liked.
Wait a little forward there for Sully. Didn't quite give it what it needed.
And
It does high center. Good way to bounce back from that bogey.
Yeah.
On 3.
his stroke is just effortless, too. Doesn't seem like he's doing much.
He doesn't really have his legs involved. It's just kind of all out in front.
Good spin.
That shoulder lever.
I'm kind of noticing, too, here. There's a lot of sticks and things on the ground here, so you're not going to get a whole lot of ground play, even in the woods. I know the grass out in the open is a little taller. It's pretty grabby, but you gotta put the disc where you need it here. And moving on to hole 6, another par 3. We got a couple benches in the way that we're not seeing here. This is a pretty straightforward hole. Got a little valley we got to get over, but it's right in front of you.
Smooth.
Yeah, and I like
No problem.
the height he used too. He didn't really get out of control. Kept it a couple feet off the ground and good control on the pace as well.
Now, do you like flippier for this kind of straight shot, or you just going neutral and just trying to hit it flat?
I saw something earlier on in the week that worked. I'm throwing a little bit flippier of a disc
Yep.
here and kind of juicing it, honestly.
Man,
You
that
see it?
floated.
Yeah, I got a little too high and got past the basket.
No, so he's going to actually try and force this zone up the middle. He doesn't like it. Gets past the tree and it's still putting.
Yeah, absolutely. At 267, gets past that last tree and still has an open look at the basket.
This might be the easiest hole on the course. Yeah.
Kiwi's showing us how it's done here.
Oh, you really juiced it,
Oh,
man.
yeah,
At
and those
55
trees.
coming back.
Those trees make me look even smaller.
Oh, man, this...
Just give it a little more.
Sully again with that low kind of punching putt right there. We'll likely see him correct on that throughout the rest of the round.
Couple of tap-ins for the Kiwis. Showing us how it's done.
All right, hole 7. It's dead straight, 94 meters. The gap is maybe a meter wide at its skinniest. It's slightly downhill, really fun shot to throw. Got to be real precise with this one.
Gosh,
There's a lot of early trees.
You hit an early tree and you're going 50, 60 feet down. It's wild.
Ooh. Little misfire there, and a kick left. It can be tough to get up and down.
Yeah, it seems like the basket's only a few feet below you from the tee, but all that airspace in front of you, there's just a valley you're throwing over, and Jacko just holding the pose. He knows this one is good. And he gets a little funky roll, unfortunately, but a great shot nonetheless. Thinking, why not?
Oh, you going that little hyzer route.
Taking the hyzer gap. Wow, I squeaked in between those.
Oh.
Okay. Got away with one there.
What's that, like 20 feet?
Not even that.
Wow. This is a soul from Sully. And that is nasty. That guy's touchy. That's like trying to forehand a lid.
Yeah, he wanted to see the line he was throwing. He didn't want to turn his back to that fairway, so he chose the forehand and threw well. We're not really getting a gauge at where Ryan was at there. Way downhill. Still trying to work his way back up to the basket.
Yeah, Ryan looking at another tough bogey there.
Yeah, early wood on this hole is just trouble. And this is where Jacko rolled to. He really just landed like where my disc is, the blue one, 15 feet away, and got
Another
punished.
unmakeable putt right there.
Yeah, it was unfortunate because he probably threw the best shot of the bunch.
It's a clean birdie right there. Now, what's that blue disc you're throwing, Paul?
That's a Champion ABR X3. Over the off season, I really got to become a fan of those. Yeah, and we see Ryan maybe just a little out of breath from walking up that hill or something.
Gonna take the double.
Uncharacteristic for him. He was putting well all day. I did not expect to see that.
Now, outside the golf here, what's the journey been like, Paul, down here in New Zealand?
You know, I think I'm having a bromance with the GK Pro team here. We're having a great time. Our hosts have been amazing. We've seen some great sights. Went rock hounding one day, cold plunging. Yeah, it's been incredible. On to hole 8, par 4. Relatively short for a par 4, but 433 through the woods here. Got to choose the right disc, I think. It's easy to go long on these downhillers. Punching through these gaps.
Oh, gets a little help from the branch. That's clean. Oh, and gets held up. Where is that? 45?
Yeah, about 45.
That's looking at the eagle.
I was stoked. This gap is intimidating. Like you said, some of these trees create a little shrubbery in the middle of the fairways, so you got to pick your point.
Oh, Sully's so clean. He just needed that hurricane to just drift a little bit more.
Inkling of drift. It was drifting beautifully, too.
Yep.
It just ran into that tree.
It's that flippy mid again from Jacko. Also getting a little bit of help. So you'll notice the pars out here, they're going to get a little soft on us on a few of these holes, but it kind of makes it fun. It brings the eagle into play on 3 or 4 of these holes.
We're still throwing shots in these woods here. Ryan tailing off to the left, but finding his way well down the fairway. That's the key on this hole.
Little chip zone from Sully. Yeah, he'll have a slightly obstructed 30-footer there.
Ryan he's on his way, but finds a tree, giving himself a putt. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. I was standing behind him the whole time and thinking this is going in. He had a beautiful window at the basket just on that right side, and he plays the fade perfect pace. It just slides right in.
Oh, it's in the heart.
Had nowhere
right
else to
side.
go.
Man, I love his putt. It kind of reminds me of like a Chandler Fry kind of putt. Just weight forward, just a lot of energy.
A lot of spin, flat release. Ryan was even framed up a bit.
Jacko's in for eagle. Paul, this is for eagle right here. Come on.
Oh, yeah.
That's in.
Let's get this slow-mo. I got to see how many chains held onto my disc here.
Oh, it's just beautiful pace, man. It was just good pace. That's all I see.
It was all downhill after that basket, so I was sweating a bit.
All right, couple of eagles right there on the 8th.
Jacko showed me the way. He had no fear, so I had to run that as well. Yes, there's that solid stroke from Sullivan.
Good correction there. Ryan taking the lone par. And a real short walk over to the tee of 9. Probably the shortest hole on the course, just 65 meters. It's a touchy one.
It
A couple
is.
different lines. You really have to control the speed on this one. Easy to go deep. There is some OB if you really juice it.
Yeah, OB long. Just looking to sneak around that tree there. Almost making it down to the flat. Still giving myself an opportunity of birdie. I gotta see how this happened. Oh my
That
gosh.
just kept gliding. He barely threw it.
Looked like he went on the right side of that tree too.
Nice play there from Sully with the zone.
Yeah.
Hard to go OB on that shot.
This was the first time I'd seen this hole, and he chucked that over there. I'm like, where's he going? And he knew exactly what he was doing. Ryan catching some early wood in the middle of the fairway. My goodness.
Wow. Full flight putter right there.
He must have seen where the basket was, because that looked like a pretty solid bid. Jacko with a great bid, just finding that unfortunate OB. During the round, we thought he found the ground just over that hill, and we got down there. To our surprise, he was out of bounds.
Yeah, you knew right away you got a little too much air
Yeah,
underneath it.
a little too much pop.
It was at this point in the round we could start to feel the wind kind of coming through this beach forest just a little bit. We've got one more hole in the woods before we get out there to the expansive views of this valley.
Wow. I can't even express how amazing this place is.
Make sure you guys leave some love for the GK Pro boys. We want to give a big thanks again to the PDGA and Vortica Disc Golf, the presenting sponsor of the Paradise Plates events. Taking a look at the scores here. Paul, 5 down. How you feel about that?
I only played 6 holes in practice and then hosted Skin, so I felt pretty good about it. I didn't love that bogey, but the eagle was nice, and Got a couple other guys ready to play some golf. Sullivan stringing off some birdies there to end his front 9.
Yeah, the back 9 gets real scoreable. There's a couple par 5s and there's some eagleable par 4s. Ton of airspace there. So stay tuned, guys, and thanks again for joining us here on GK Pro. Paul, I think this is our first time in the booth, man. This is fun, man.
First time Paradise Plates. Not a bad place to get things kicked off.